Samir Aravind called the moment the dashboard flickered past 1 million downloads. It was after midnight in Bengaluru, but his co-founder Lydia Zhang picked up anyway. The two had worked on dozens of quantified self-side projects during college, but Somnus was their first breakout hit. An app that sat on a nightstand, used machine learning noise filters to record only speech, then produced a morning report of every word a sleeper muttered. Social media loved the concept. Clips of drunken giggles, half-formed grocery lists, and pillow talk confessions racked up views under the hashtag IRL Somniloquy. Trending on 19 countries, Samir said, voice trembling. We're going to need bigger servers. Lydia laughed, cheeks hot despite the cool Hong Kong dawn outside her window. We might finally pay ourselves a salary. They ended the call giddy and exhausted. Neither mentioned the nagging unease they each felt about turning unconscious murmurs into entertainment. Every disruptive product hit a moral question. Investors told them to move fast and let ethicists catch up. Samir and Lydia told themselves that Somnus helped users spot sleep apnea, nightly anxiety spikes, and patterns of REM. Harmless fun with a health dividend. Who could argue? During the next 2 weeks, the graph kept climbing. Tech reviewers praised the automatic sharing feature. A user could tap one button over breakfast, auto-clip their funniest line, and upload it with branded subtitles. Late-night comedians spliced Somnus clips into monologues. Pop stars mashed them into EDM tracks. A major mattress company offered sponsorship. Then anomalies surfaced. It began on Reddit. A user named Littlebird17 posted the question, anyone else get a creepy second voice in their Somnus recordings? Attached were 3 audio files. In each, the sleeping user muttered vague nonsense. Blue elevator, can't find socks. And a faint baritone whispered back, you will. Turn around. The price is 7. Commenters dismissed it as audio pareidolia. The thread died, but not before Lydia bookmarked it. She fed the files into Somnus's classifier and looked at the spectrograms. The baritone showed clearer consonant patterns than the sleeper's own voice, as though whoever spoke was awake and close to the mic. Somnus shipped with background noise suppression. Stray television chatter should have been filtered out. She emailed Samir a flagged report, subject line, ST range outliers. He skimmed it between investor calls. Probably artifact, he typed. We can fix next patch. Days later, TikTok exploded with the Stranger in My Sleep challenge. Users played their nightly clips and froze when an unknown voice answered them. Some screamed, some laughed, some pretended to pass out. Hashtag views passed 50 million. Mainstream press jumped in. Sleep scientists were interviewed about nocturnal hallucination. Somnus's daily actives doubled again. With growth came pressure. A Fortune cover story hailed Samir and Lydia as the new pioneers of personal audio. Capital poured in. So did customer support tickets. One email, labeled urgent, was from a Wisconsin dentist named Maria Santiago. She attached a zip of 7 nights audio and wrote, I woke at 3 a.m. to someone calling my name. But my husband was on a trip and the house was locked. Please listen. Lydia downloaded the files, expecting another social media stunt. Instead, a chill pricked her arms. Night 1, 02:11. Maria mumbled. Need to pick up kids by A calm male voice, close-mic'd. You have 3 days. Night 2, 01:47. Maria respired heavily. Voice, 2. Night 3, 02:03. Maria whispered, Who are ye? Voice, louder. Roof, rope, choose. Night 4, 01:58. Silence for 20 seconds. Then, 1. Night 5 was missing. Maria's final email said only, Someone is in my house. Police online. Pray. No further messages arrived. Lydia searched news sites until she found a local report. Woman hospitalized after falling from second-story roof while checking a possible intruder. Minor injuries. No suspect. Lydia forwarded the data to Samir with the subject, What the hell? 3 minutes later, he started a video call. It's faked, he insisted, eyes red. Viral marketing. Someone's messing with us. Could be. Lydia's voice was flat, but our silence filter tagged the baritone as foreground. The recording came from her phone mic, not dubbed. Samir ran a hand through his hair. A bug. Our pipeline merges nights in cloud storage. Someone could hijack files, splice audio before user download. That would require privileged access or dev keys. They stared at each other through the screen. You saying an employee did it? He asked. I'm saying we don't know. Samir scheduled an emergency audit. The DevOps lead found no unauthorized pushes, no evidence of tampering in S3 buckets. Encryption keys sat in hardware vaults. Yet the baritone persisted across accounts worldwide. Support logs filled with similar messages, deadlines, threats, bargains. Always whispered between 1 and 3 a.m. Always captured by Somnus, never any other recording device. A neural net linguistics expert volunteered his own analysis. He reported that the baritone's phonemes matched no known regional accent. Formant patterns were consistent across hundreds of samples, implying a single speaker. But pitch shifted downward 0.03 semitones nightly, as if the voice were gradually lowering. Podcasts speculated about guerrilla marketing for a horror movie. Somnus's user base ballooned past 10 million. Investors urged the founders to capitalize. Lean into the folklore, one VC texted. Release a premium pack. Chat with your inner demon. Samir felt bile rise. He called Lydia. I can't keep ignoring this. Me neither, she said. Her window overlooked neon towers. Below, billboards now advertised Somnus with the tagline, Hear the Unheard. People are scared, Sam. A woman in Sweden burned her iPhone after it recorded the voice telling her to bring fire. We should shut the servers down until we know what's happening. That's a lawsuit circus. Maybe. He exhaled. Let's get a smaller sample size. Us. They agreed to beta test a clean build. New private AWS instance, freshly flashed pixels, no third-party libraries beyond the bare Android APIs. They would each record 3 nights, cross-check logs, then compare. Night 1. Lydia dreamed she was diving. In the morning she opened the app. Her own half-drowned words. Too deep. Need light. Then something else, faint but distinct. Open your eyes. She froze, throat tight. Samir texted seconds later. Heard it. His clip. Deadline. Feature freeze. Unknown voice. Freeze or burn. 3 nights. Night. 2. Sleep eluded Lydia. At 2:12 she drifted off. Playback showed her muttering, Tell me what you want. Voice. I want the door. She. Which door? Voice. The one you locked. Samir's file contained a single sentence from the voice. 1 night left. They met the next afternoon on a secure Zoom line. Silence heavy. What door? Samir asked. The server kill switch, Lydia answered before she thought. She kept a hardware dongle that could wipe their production cluster. One final fail-safe. She had never told marketing or investors. How could it know that? She didn't reply. Night 3. Samir placed the phone on his bedside table, heart pounding. He rehearsed rational explanations. Some ultra-low radio broadcast, a prankster with parabolic mics. But none fit. He considered staying awake, but fear of missing the event felt worse. Sleep came in shards. He dreamed of standing inside a tunnel that throbbed like a giant throat. A black door hovered ahead. He walked toward it, but his legs sank into sand. When he woke, morning sun pierced the blinds. He opened Somnus. First, his own anxious words. Is anyone there? Then the baritone, louder and clearer than ever, as if the speaker lay next to the mic. 7 days, Samir. Bring the rest. His pulse hammered. He called Lydia. She picked up at once. She had been listening to her recording. I have a date too, she said. 7 days. They talked for an hour, voice shaking, analyzing pronouns. Bring the rest? The rest of what? Users, secrets, data? We confront it, Lydia decided. This thing wants to talk, we talk back. Awake. How? Protocol hack. We patch the app to keep the mic open after we're up, then ask questions aloud. See if it responds. Samir wrote the code himself, pushed to their private branch, and they synced over a peer-to-peer VPN. No cloud. Night 4. Samir sat on the edge of his mattress at 1:59 a.m., phone balanced on a tripod. Lydia did the same across the continent. They agreed to stay on a muted video call, each able to watch the other's dim room. 2:06, nothing. 2:13, Samir whispered, "We're awake. Can you hear us?" Static crackled from the phone's speaker. Then a voice, identical baritone but now rough, as if scraped. "Hearing is a small trick." Samir's breath hitched. He activated speakerphone so Lydia could hear. From her screen he saw her eyes widen. He cleared his throat. "Who are you?" "I am the apostle of falling houses." "What do you want?" "Doors." Samir's brain raced. "What doors?" "The locked ones, built of words and wire. 7 days to open, or they open." Lydia spoke up, voice calm. "We need proof you exist outside these recordings." Silence. Then Samir's bedroom lights flickered. The bedside lamp popped, plunging him into darkness. Over video, Lydia's room flickered at the same instant. The baritone returned, softer. "Proof bleeds." Samir's blood roared. He terminated the call, yanked the phone cable. He barely slept. Morning headlines reported rolling blackouts in both Bengaluru and Hong Kong grids at 2:15 a.m. No cause identified. Day 5. A CNN anchor grilled a cybersecurity expert about rumors linking Somnus to the outages. Stock pundits urged investors to short the startup. Users flooded the app with 1-star reviews, blaming it for nightmares, nosebleeds, even suicides. Parents deleted it from children's phones. Others, morbidly fascinated, kept recording in hope of catching the voice. Samir's board called an emergency meeting. One director demanded public denial. Another suggested pivoting to enterprise sleep analytics. Samir disconnected, hands shaking. Lydia emailed, "We can't contain this. People need to stop using Somnus." He agreed. They drafted a global push notification. "Urgent. Please pause use of Somnus while we investigate security issue." Legal protested. Samir sent it anyway. Metrics showed 40% compliance. 60% kept going. Night 5. Samir walked through his apartment, unplugging every device. Only the phone remained, inside a Faraday pouch until exactly 1:55. He withdrew it, heart thudding. 2:02. He spoke. "We disabled the service. Users are logging off." The baritone answered immediately, louder than ever. "Open the door or watch them sleep forever." Cold spread through Samir's limbs. "What does that mean?" "Sleepwalking, sleep falling, sleep drowning. Their gates are unlatched. You latch them." Samir's voice cracked. "How do we open it?" 7, you, her. The key is cut from your own tongues." The line dropped to static. At dawn, push alerts buzzed with horror. A London teen leapt off a balcony while sleepwalking. A truck driver in Ohio crashed after drifting asleep at the wheel. Families reported Somnus had captured murmured dialogue, followed by the baritone promising, "Walk with me." Authorities linked 7 fatal incidents across different countries. Exactly 7. Samir sobbed in his shower. Day 6. Protesters gathered outside Somnus offices in both cities, chanting, "Stop the voice." Conspiracy forums claimed the founders invoked demons through AI. Lydia's parents received death threats. Server logs overflowed with deletion requests. Still more new signups arrived. The morbid curiosity curve. Samir and Lydia convened a private call, faces gaunt. "We have to shut everything," Lydia said. "Will that stop it?" "I don't know, but we can't keep feeding it data." They initiated the nuclear option. Lydia inserted her dongle. Samir typed the confirmation code. Purge unshackle. Terabytes of audio dissolved in seconds. DNS entries pointed to 404 pages. App stores were sent kill switch commands. But inside their offices, phones buzzed. Despite the purge, New recordings arrived, files that should not exist, from devices no longer connected to any Somnus back end. They contained only the baritone. 2 days. Day 7 morning brought grim arithmetic, 23 incidents overnight. A UN Cybersecurity Council subpoenaed Samir and Lydia. Travel impossible, mobs surrounded buildings, reporters hammered doors. They barricaded themselves in a 5th-floor conference room with laptops, pizza crusts, and fear. "We opened the door," Samir whispered. Lydia stared. "We tried. Data's gone." "It said the key is our tongues," he swallowed. "Maybe it wants us to speak something, a phrase, credentials." "Like root access? To what? World?" She almost laughed. Tears came instead. He opened a notepad. "What's the one thing we never published?" "Our private signing key phrase," Lydia said slowly. They had coined it in college, a nerdy line from an ancient text. "What knocks but cannot enter knows the nail, not the wood." If we say it aloud. Use the master skull to open every door, Samir thought. His rational brain rebelled, but 7 deadlines, 7 deaths, electricity glitches. Patterns bullied rationality. "Maybe we say it together," he muttered. Lydia nodded, eyes empty. They set a phone on the table, mic live. Samir inhaled. "We are here," he announced. "This is what you asked." The baritone emerged, so loud the phone speaker buzzed. "Speak!" Samir met Lydia's gaze. Together they recited, "What knocks but cannot enter knows the nail, not the wood." A pulse of high-pitched feedback blasted from the phone. Lights dimmed. Outside, the crowd's chants faltered. Some pressed hands to ears. Samir winced. Lydia clutched the table. The phone screen displayed lines of code scrolling, hexadecimal gibberish. Then words, "Door open your throats, our pathways, thank you." The screen shattered spider-webbing glass. Silence. In the sudden stillness, Samir's phone buzzed with new push alerts from a service that no longer existed. Lydia's laptop chimed. They looked. Across the globe, Somnus users reported a final recording. The baritone, now distant, said only, "Walk." Every clip ended with the sound of a door creaking wide. Night 7. Samir sat alone in a dark conference room. Lydia had gone to call her family but never came back. The hallway security feed showed cameras glitching out. His phone, though dead, lit up 159. He heard footsteps outside. Then the door handle rattled. He backed away until his spine hit the glass wall. "Lydia," he called. No reply. Just the handle turning again, slow and deliberate. He remembered the phrase, "Walk with me." Something moved behind the frosted glass. A tall silhouette, shoulders wrong proportioned. It raised a hand and tapped 5 times, each tap echoing both dull in the wood and hollow in Samir's rib cage. He wanted to scream, but his throat felt stitched. The handle completed its turn. The door swung inward. Darkness waited behind it, more black than the unlit corridor should allow, a matte void that swallowed geometry. Air rushed outward, carrying a smell like burned ozone and distant rain. Samir felt a tug, not on his body but inside his thoughts, as if someone gripped the hinge of choice and gently pulled. "Walk," it murmured, not a sound, but a certainty. His foot lifted. From deep inside the darkness, a familiar voice rose, his own, distorted, overlapping with that baritone, chanting the same clipped syllables on loop. "What knocks, cannot, knows the nail." Samir realized the voice had always been partly his, fed through the machine, reflected back with alien harmonics until he mistook it for separate. A feedback ghost. Except feedback did not flicker lights or break glass. He stood at the threshold, 1 pace away from crossing. Somewhere far below, sirens wailed and crowds screamed. He saw all Somnus users doing the same dance in bedrooms, dorms, truck cabs, hospital wards, standing before windows, rooftops, rivers, doors of flesh and physics swinging open. His rational mind surfaced one last time, whispering that he had responsibility, that opening this door completed something irreparable. He clenched fists, forcing his limbs to obey. The tug intensified, like hooks in every memory. Think of 7 days, 7 million downloads, 7 deaths, tallies carved into his conscience. If the thing wanted doors, maybe refusal slammed them shut. He pivoted, grabbed the phone from the table, and hurled it into the void. Glass and plastic vanished without a sound. The pull receded, surprised. Samir seized the door handle and heaved. Resistance like wet clay fought him. He screamed, muscles tearing, and shoved. The door inched, then slammed shut so hard the glass wall shook. Instantly, lights brightened. Sirens outside elevated. The handle stilled. He collapsed, sobbing. Epilogue. 3 months later, Somnus was a crime scene abbreviation. Governments banned sleep monitoring apps pending new regulations. Most users deleted their recordings. Many could not remember the week clearly, as if dreams fogged waking memory. Lydia was never found. Her parents kept her bedroom intact, phone missing. CCTV last showed her entering a subway station at 1:57 a.m., walking with measured steps, eyes closed. Samir lived under protection in Reykjavik, where the sky at night never fully darkened. He testified before committees and sold every share of the company for €1. Most days he walked the waterfront and tried not to fall asleep. He did not own a phone. Yet sometimes, near dawn, he heard faint audio glitches in the wind, a layered baritone sinking lower each time, promising trades of doors for silence. When that happened, he whispered no, again and again, until the wind carried the echo away. He feared, though, that somewhere in the world someone would decide to build a newer, smarter sleep-tracking device. Convinced the old fiasco was superstition, they would pitch investors, launch an app, chase virality. People would press record. Inevitably, they would ask the ancient knight a question, and something would answer, ready to knock.